Hi guys, welcome back to the channel for another video. So today I'll be reviewing the Nissan Magnite compact SUV that you can see sitting right behind me, and special thanks to Nova Nissan Jorhat for allowing me to shoot this video. So if you are from Jorhat and if you want to go for any Nissan or Datsun product, the showroom details will be given in the description below. Make sure you make an inquiry with the numbers, and also you can see the showroom details right now running in the screen. Now moving forward to Nissan Magnite, I will do the in-depth walk around of the car and also give you the drive impression, that how it feels out on the road. But for drive impression, I will be driving the turbo petrol variant only, and I won't be driving the naturally aspirated engine that is offered with the Magnite. Magnite is offered like in various trim levels and with two engine option, also two gearbox option, 5-speed manual and a CVT. So without any further delay, let's now start with the walk around, and then I will give you the drive impression, and you will know every single details about the Magnite while I give you the walk around. So let's get started. So like always, starting with the keys. Here are the keys of the Nissan Magnite that we will get, and obviously smart keys. It's a fairly simple key. One side there is Nissan logo, two buttons are there, lock and unlock button, no follow me headlamp function or dedicated button to open the boot and all. In this variant, this is actually XV Premium with a naturally aspirated engine. The Nissan offers Magnite with two engine options, 1 liter naturally aspirated 3-cylinder engine, and also a turbo petrol variant with obviously 3-cylinder engine, and that makes around 100 horsepower, 160 Newton meters of torque. But this engine here produces around 72 horsepower and around 96-98 Newton meters of torque. Every single details will be given in the screen. You can check that out. Now coming to the front fascia of the car, this is the front fascia, and you can see LED in the fronts, like whole front in this trim level actually gets LED treatment. So down here is the headlight, and there is projector setup for the lower beam, then multi-reflector for the higher beam, and this here is the LED indicator. So when I press the lock button, you can see the LED indicator flashing, which are really bright. It looks nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't get follow me headlamp function, so I cannot show you the light and all. And down under here are the DRLs. I'll obviously light these up and show you. And down under here are the projector lights, or the projector fog lights. The throw is really nice. Let me just show in details more, and then I'll turn on the lights and show you. Then this is the grille here. Obviously Nissan badging is done, and there is a neatly placed camera here. So this car comes with 360 camera. I can also see the horn. It's a good horn, not bad. And in the grille around here are chrome treatment. Not big fan of chrome because these are prone to actually scratches and all, but looks are always subjective. It doesn't looks bad, but there is chrome here, and also the chrome line actually runs along here. And this actually doesn't looks like Nissan's grille, it actually looks like Datsun's grille. So here is a Datsun Go. Let me go behind and show you. So look how similar the grills are with the Datsun, but Datsun is owned by Nissan, so obviously that's actually Nissan only. Then down under there you can see the license plate holder there, and also skid plating is there. This is not actually metal, this is fiber. Obviously cost cutting is done in this car and as such, but the approach angle is really very good in this car. As you can see, the ground clearance is 205 mm, which is really nice. The car is slightly under 4 meters, 3.9 something like that, and the wheelbase is 2.5 meters. Obviously again LED fog light here. This is the place to put the tow hook and all. LED DRL, full LED headlight here. Let me just turn on the lights and show you. So I've turned on the headlights and all, as you can see right now. So full LED headlights. These are the LED DRLs here. Then down there is the LED fog light. So the light throw or the visibility in this car won't be any problem because LED setup is there. So, and it looks really nice. Let me just turn it off. Also up in the hood here you can see lots of design running in the hood. Obviously the hood you will see little bit of flex, but on the side panels here you won't see much flex. The metal used is really nice. The car is fairly lightweight, but The metal use is nice, and also the Asian NCAP test of the car turned out to be good of the Magnite, and it's based on new platform from Nissan. So the Asian NCAP rating, crash test safety rating is 4-star, which is fairly good in when you compare it with other cars in the compact SUV segment. So that's on the front fascia of the car, nothing much more to show. Now coming to the side profile, here is the side profile of the car, and yes, it does looks like an SUV. For me, it actually looks like a large size hatchback, but yeah, obviously looks are always subjective and all. Then the body cladding you can see running all across the side profile of the car, and there are some silver like finishing on the door. The ground clearance you can see it's really very nice. The side skirting also gets body cladding, so it will protect the side skirts from debris and all. These are the 16-inch alloy wheels, obviously squared out wheel arches, and Magnite badging done here, also Nissan written here. I'll come to the doors and all in a bit. So no matter if you buy the lower variant or the top spec variant, you will be offered with 16-inch wheel, and the top spec variant, obviously the XV Premium, all those trim levels comes with dual tone alloy wheels. So Nissan badging done here. Front gets ventilated disc, rear gets drum, obviously ABS EBD is standard, and the wheel section is 195/60 R16. So 16-inch wheels will be offered with all variants, no matter they are alloy or steel wheels. And coming to the side again, here are the roof rails. Obviously these are functional, it's silver color finish. This variant doesn't get dual tone treatment, it's single monotone. Also you can get the Magnite in dual tone treatment. And talking about the roof rails particularly, this can hold up to 50 kgs of weight. Then the B pillar here gets plastic covering. The A pillar, B pillar both are covered like black color treatment is given, and it's actually scratchy plastic, so it will be prone to scratches. I don't know about that much, but the door here or the side profile here gets chrome treatment. Not big fan of a chrome because these are prone to scratches, but chrome is there. It looks nice actually, not bad. But again, chrome door handles, request sensor is there. Also on the driver and co-driver side door obviously there, and also the co-driver side gates request sensor, obviously chrome handle. Again, I am not big fan of chrome because these are actually prone to scratches. Then again, coming to the rear wheel, squared out wheel arches, different sorts of design is given. This is actually for protection from side bumps and all, so that it doesn't affect the body. Again, coming to the outside rear view, wing mirror, gloss black finish. Then nicely integrated are the LED side indicators, and also down under here there is a 360 camera for the 360 view. Obviously both the outside ORVM in the XV trim gets 360 camera, which is first in segment feature when it was launched way back in 2020 when this Magnite was launched. Now that Punch micro SUV also is out, and due to its aggressive pricing, Magnite or the Punch competes with Nissan Magnite and Renault Kiger, and both Nissan Magnite and Renault Kiger video are there somewhere here in the pop-up button. You can check it out. So that's everything on the side profile. Now coming to the rear section of the car, here is the rear profile of the car. It looks good, doesn't get that C-shape LED light treatment like the Kiger. And again, Kiger video is in my channel, you can check it out. Also Punch video is in my channel, you can check it out. So the rear lights are actually wraparound type treatment is given. These are not full LED tail lights. The front has full LED headlight setup like DRL LED fog light, but the rear doesn't get LED setup. These are actually halogen, but the way the lights are designed, it or the reflector covering is designed, it looks like LED, but it's not actually LED, so mind it. And here are the main running lights. This is the halogen indicator, this is the reverse gear light. So if I lock the car, you can see halogen light. Then badging again, Nissan badging here, Magnite badging here. Now it's Magnite badging. If this would have been given in black color gloss finish, then it would have been great, but obviously chrome doesn't look bad. Obviously again, looks are subjective. Then there is the normal antenna, not shark fin antenna. High stop mount LED brake light. There is neatly placed the washer fluid dispenser. Rear spoiler is there. The rear looks really good in this car, not bad, but yeah, again slightly slanted rear tailgate. teeny tiny quarter glass is here. We'll check it out like the visibility when I will go inside. Now again, there are some more features on the back. In this exhibit trim you will get 4 parking sensors. So 1, 2, 3, 4 parking sensors. Down under here are the reflectors, then some body cladding, again silver type finishing is given. So the design, when you look in person, it looks good, not bad, and it doesn't feel cheap. And here is actually plastic where the Nissan badging is done. This material here is actually fiber. The rear in this exhibit trim, premium trim, also gets washer, obviously shown you the wiper dispenser setup or the washer dispenser setup. Then also there are defogger type element, obviously Nova Automobiles and all is written. And the departure angle of the car is also good because the car is really the ground clearance is really good in this car. Then here is the place to put the license plate, and there is the reverse parking camera here, so 360 view is there in this car. Then down under there is the exhaust, real exhaust, multi-link type suspension is there. Obviously here some insulation is done and all of the camera covered it. So that's on the rear profile of the car. Obviously the fuel filler cap is here, and it's not magnetically operated, it's actually spring mechanism. You have to access or open it, the fuel filler cap, from the driver's side door there. I'll show you once I get to the inside. Now for opening the boot, you cannot open it with remote obviously but there is a request button here in the boot itself. To open that you have to just press it if you have the key with you, and you can open it, and it doesn't feel very much heavy. It's actually very light. And here are the lights. I don't think these are LEDs, these are actually halogen, but if LED then it's really good. Obviously you have seen the reverse parking camera and all, it's there. So plastic covering is done in the tailgate itself. There are 2 hydraulic struts. There is a parcel shelf here, which obviously cost cutting is done in this car. It is nicely covered with like carpeting and material, but it looks a bit flimsy, but it will do its job, like how the car is priced and all. The carpeting here is also done. The loading lip is not flushed, it's actually deep. My hand goes inside to that. So plastic is there, lots of scratchy plastic. Obviously light is placed here. No, it cannot be turned off. Once you close the tailgate, that it gets turned off and on. So hooks are there here, hope you can see. Also hook is there here. The boot space is actually 336 liters in Magnite, slightly less than the, obviously punch is shorter than this, even though the punch interior spacing is done nicely. And also Kiger, the boot space is little bit higher than the Nissan Magnite. Obviously that came later, like launched later after the Magnite. The loading area is not that wide and also neither narrow, it's somewhere in the middle because of this way the body or the underbody is designed or the chassis is designed. Obviously 60-40 split seats are there. Then down under here is a sphere wheel, which is actually steel wheel, and the section is 185/60 R15. No, not full size sphere wheel, but 15-inch steel wheel. Obviously there is the toolkit, jack and all are there, and obviously nothing much any elegant thing to show here. So let's put it there, and there is a place to put the hand here to close the tailgate. So let's close it. So it doesn't take any effort, much effort is not needed to close the tailgate, and it closes softly, which is really good. Now coming to the rear doors, let's open the rear door and see the rear space. So the rear doors opens wide enough because the car is long, it's over 3.9 meters, slightly less than 4 meters for that cost cutting and stuff. And the door panels here are obviously cost cutting is done, so scratchy, but leather type finishing is done. Obviously satin type finishing is given on the door handle here, some satin type finishing more there. The button for rolling up and down the window, no auto touch function for passenger windows, auto touch function is there for the driver side window. Speaker placed there, bottle holder here, some spacing is done for putting cloth and paperwork and such stuff. The place here gets soft touch type material, obviously fabric stitching is done, which looks really nice. I cannot open the door fully, but it opens, and not 90-degree, obviously for that you have to go for the punch and all Tata cars, and no 90-degree doors, but the ingress and egress of the car is good. And as the car is a bit high, you have to pull up the feet, put up the feet for going inside, so you have to do a little bit of work. The door body or the seals here doesn't get any scuff plating type protection, but scuff plating is offered as an accessory. Tech pack is there, you can put it Nissan, and it actually is LED scuff plating, so it glows. And the material here also protection is given, so it will take up most of the scratches and all. So down under here it's actually flat bottom floor, not much can be seen. I'll turn on the light and show you. So the material in this car or the variant gets fabric type seat material. The cushioning is done really nice. There are two headrests there, obviously 60-40 split seats. There is also a armrest here. Hope I can open, but there is an armrest actually here in this car, so you can see. So both the passenger side seats get adjustable headrest, no headrest for the middle passenger. Obviously car makers think middle passengers doesn't come with head. Isofix child seat mount is there. So let's now get inside and show you more in details about the under thigh support, headroom and all. So once I come inside, the rear seats are really very comfortable. Obviously headrests are there, the middle passenger doesn't get headrest, but there is also a armrest. Let me just show you like the armrest. So there is an armrest here, two cup holders, exactly you have seen like on the Kiger and all. You can also keep a phone here, place is there. So let me just turn on the car from here and turn on the light actually. So light is placed here, obviously not LED, it's halogen. So talking about the seat comfort and all, the seat is really very comfortable. You can see lots of legroom. Obviously the front seat is placed forward, but even though the seat is placed or slided backward, the knee room will be great because this car offers 22 mm of knee room, which is really nice. Lots of legroom, lots of knee room. The under thigh support is also good for me. My height is around 5'5", but even then you can see the under thigh support is good for me. And talking about headroom, the headroom for me is nice, not bad. You can see even if I sit upright, the headroom is good, and even I slightly recline my back, it's good, the headroom is good. So for people like around 5'8", 5'9", it will be good. 6 footers and above will have some problem because the roof slants towards the back, but even then it's decent, it's good, not bad. 3-point type seat belts are there in this car, as you can see. 3-point type seat belts, nice mechanism. The lumbar support is also good in the back. Obviously fabric type material is given. Then parcel shelf is there. No, you cannot access the boot from the inside. Then tiny quarter glass there, also here to this side. Obviously so these are actually scratchy plastic material. So let's close the door and show you more. Obviously there are AC vents here, which is good. No USB is not there, but there is a 12-volt socket here. Obviously the door gets speakers and all. The interior liner is not that up to the mark. It actually is fabric, but that mesh type fabric, so it will be prone to dirt and all. There are grab rail here, hook here for putting coat and all, also hook there. All the passenger side passengers get a grab rail. The driver side doesn't get. Only Honda cars come with driver side door. And if you want to see any Honda like sedan and all, the video is there in my channel. You can check the pop-up button there. You can see the Honda Amaze and all the new Honda Amaze, obviously the facelift one. So talking about visibility, you can see the window sections are really very big, and the visibility of rear passengers will be good. As you can see, the window section are really nice, it's big. Obviously there is a tiny quarter glass here, tiny quarter glass to the dash side also, so people won't have any issue with visibility. Also they won't feel claustrophobic. The middle passenger here doesn't get 3-point type seat belts, but they can actually adjust because the hump here is not that much. It's not very flat bottom, but it's good. Like it's sort of like Punch and all. If you are fan of Tata cars like Alpha platform, it's similar to that, so that's great on the rear side of the rear seating of the Magnite. I am liking it more than the Punch. Obviously this is a longer car, so it has more space and all. So that's it on the interior or the rear interior of the car. The rear seats, it's really good. It's I would say good. I won't say much. It's good, the comfort is good, and if you compare it with Punch, then I'm feeling it really very better in this car. Obviously the Punch is a little bit cheaper you can get, but if you spend few more bucks, the comfort on the Magnite and the Kiger, obviously also the Kiger, I have to say, because same cars, this and the Kiger, but talking particularly about Magnite, it's really very good. The rear seats are inclined really nicely. People will be comfortable here. Also this is a bit wider seat, and obviously 3 adults won't be comfortable, but they can adjust. 2 adults and a kid will be really comfortable. And also the footboard here is flat, not hump is not there, so 3 people can sit. Obviously Punch also gets the Alpha platform, so foot area in the rear passenger area is flat. So that's everything on the interior or the rear interior of the car. So here is the front, and you can see the front dashboard design and all. So I will go to the front and show you more in details about the front interior design of the dashboard and also the equipments and all of the car. Obviously no sunroof and all in this variant, or the Magnite is not offered with sunroof. So let's now go to the front and show you more in details. So coming to the front doors get that chrome treatment just like the rear door. So in this trim level, chrome door handles are given. Obviously chrome treatment also in these window sills here, and it seems to be metal. And this is the outside rear view mirror, which is electrically adjustable from the inside and out. And then there is the neatly placed camera, 360 camera here, LED side indicators integrated into the outside rear view mirror. The roof gets that the side profile here, the A pillar, B pillar and C pillar, not the C exact last, but the doors get that blackout treatment here. So it kind of gives that floating type roof treatment. Now coming to the doors, obviously I don't have to press it now as the door or the car is unlocked, but if it's locked then you can press the request sensor there to unlock it. Now the doors open wide enough, going in and out won't be any problem. And the door panels here, like the rear doors, doesn't feel cheap either, but is not that very high quality material. It's of decent material, but I have to say in comparison to the Punch, it's really very nice. I don't know about the lower spec trim in this car, but I reviewed the Punch, the higher spec trim, and it was really very bad. Lots of scratchy material was there in the inside. The interior of the Punch is not that very good for me. According to me, it's not that great to invest so much money for a very cheap quality interior material that is being given by Tata to the Punch. Like the door panels are not that good. But coming to the Magnite, the door panels seems really very nice. Leather type finishing is given. Soft touch material is there here. Then this is the button for the outside ORVM. Obviously for auto folding or electrically folding mirror is there. Then this button here is for the adjustment of the outside ORVM. Then auto function for the driver side door, as auto written here. The auto function is not for other doors or the window rolling up and down. This is the child lock button for the window roll and up down function. This is a place here to put the hand and close the door. Obviously satin type finishing is given here. Large 1 liter bottle holder is there. Speaker here. There is some more space to put some paperwork and cloth and stuff are there. So again, scuff plating does not come as a standard. You have to go for the accessory or the tech pack to get the scuff plating. Now coming to the driver seat, it gets height adjustability. So in this trim, it gets height adjustability, which is really nice. So 8-way adjustable driver side door, obviously manually adjustable. There are the pedals, clutch, brake and accelerator. No, it doesn't get dedicated. That pedal should have been given because this car is not that small, so spaces were there to give a dedicated that pedal, but no, it's not given. There's a knob to open the hood of the car. Obviously there is the knob to open the fuel lid of the car, and this is here for the cruise control. This is for the headlight leveler, and there is the interior of the car. Let me now get to the inside and show you more in details about the headroom and all. So coming into the Nissan Magnite, let me just close the door and put the seat a bit back. Now first of all, let's just talk about the headroom and all. So the headroom or the front driver headroom is really very good. As you can see, the headroom is nice. Also, if you want commanding view, as if you are short, then you can increase the seat height like this. As the driver side seat gets seat height adjustment, so A2 adjustable driver side seat. Obviously headroom you have seen, good for me. I am around 5'5", so I can have commanding view by increasing the seat height, and even taller people like 6-footers will be comfortable in the front seat here. So for headroom and seat comfort, there is not of an issue for the driver in this seat. Obviously the co-driver seat doesn't get height adjustable seat and it doesn't need that. Now talking about the seat comfort or the lumbar support, here the lumbar support is really very nice. No adjustable height adjustable seat belt, but 3-point seat belts are there. Then the material here is scratchy. Obviously I've shown you all these things here, and the seat comfort is really very nice. Adjustable headrests are there, as you can see. So for that you have to press it, but I cannot do it from with one hand, sorry for that. Talking about fabric, just like the rear, the front fabric is, or the fabric material used for the seat, nice stitching is done. Actually these are actually patterns, not stitching of the camera is covering. These are actually patterns, so stitching is done here. Some leather type finishing is given on the sides here in the lumbar. So the lumbar support is really very nice. You can see how thick the cushioning is. It's very comfortable here. There is a armrest here. No, it's not adjustable. There are two cup holders here. Also you can keep the key here. There is the manual handbrake, obviously chrome treatment in the here. So this is actually leather wrapped and nice stitching is done, which really feels good to hold. Here is the 5-speed manual gear, and the reverse gear is to that situation, or you have to pull the knob here down under here to put the car into reverse. So new people who haven't tried this gear yet, they might have problem, but with practice it will come. Then lots of space down under here to keep your phone. No wireless charging is not standard, you have to go for accessory, but wireless charging is there. Also air purifier and all ambient lighting, all those things in the magnet come as an accessory. There is the start stop button. Then down under there, let me turn on the car and turn on the lights here. So down under there is a power socket and also a USB to connect your phone to this 8-inch screen. I'll come to the screen a bit. It gets Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So to connect your phone, you have to use the USB here. Obviously phone kept there. Also there is a place to put your phone here, and these are the AC controls. I really like the fact that the AC controls have been given, like knob has been given by Nissan, so it's really nice. There is display here, also temperature control display is here. So if I turn on the AC, like I have to turn it on and low, it's there. So it really shows the temperature very nicely. Knob is there, so you don't, while driving you so don't have to move your head around there, here and there. You can simply feel and control it. So it's there, it's really nice, and the feedback from the knobs are also good quality material is used. These buttons here for the defogger, auto AC is also there. No dual zone function. Then air circulation is here, the AC button is here. So the buttons really feel nice. Here is the button for central locking button. Obviously central lock is there, so locking the car. So a really small LED element glows here, which looks nice. Then front defogger, rear defogger. Obviously this is the switch for the hazard light there, you can see. I'll come to the instrument cluster in a bit. Coming to the sunshade and all, the sunshade, obviously mirror is there in the driver's side, but no light is placed. But as you can see, the lights here, or to this side, if I turn it off, to this side if I turn on, the light comes to the sunset. So vanity mirror light is not actually needed. This light here works as that. And the sunset for the front view, it's really good. It blocks a lots of light coming from there. Let's see if it can block the side. No, but the side here, there is a little bit area left out, so not much of a use, but it's of decent size and good quality. Obviously there is a pocket here to put some paperwork, and mic placed here. No handle for the driver side door. Then no auto dimming mirror, manually dimming mirror. So light placed here. Obviously there are 3 lights, 1, 2. So both the lights works for as a vanity mirror light for this sunsets. Then the middle there is also a light. And then again, coming to the co-driver side sunset, obviously there is mirror, but light is not there, as this light will work for that. and again handle here, but no hook is there. Now this is the dashboard design of the car. The dashboard design obviously looks are very subjective. It looks nice, but according to me, I really like how the interior of the Kiger is designed, but the exterior, the front look of the Kiger, I don't really like it because it looks like a big size squid. But talking about the Magnite, the materials here really feels very nice. Nissan has done good job. The material in the instrument console, the cowl here is different. Then here is the leatherette material which you have seen on the door, it's there. And obviously hexagonal type AC vents are given here, as you can see. So satin finishing is done around the AC vents. 4 AC vents are there, and obviously SRS airbag. This car comes with dual airbag. And safety rating, the Asian safety rating of this Asian NCAP, actually safety rating is 4 stars, so this car is pretty safe. Then here the finishing is different. You can see hexagonal patterns, lots of hexagonal patterns are there, so some sort of Lamborghini type styling is done, but no, not Lamborghini, but yeah, hexagonal type styling is given, that's why I'm calling it. Talking about the glove box, really big glove box, very big. Also the Kiger had a very large glove box, but the Kiger doesn't have cool function. This glove box here gets cool functionality. Light is placed here. You can easily keep lots of stuff here, paperwork, even many things. A small tablet or laptop will also go inside, as spacing is there. So it's really very nice size glove box. I really like that. Obviously shown you the center console and all. Start stop engine startup button is here. It's little bit flimsy, but not that bad. You cannot shake it all. Yeah, put together very nicely. The center console is put together nicely. Obviously there is more satin type finishing around the gear knob here. This material here is actually leatherette finishing. The gear knob doesn't get leatherette type, or the gear knob is not actually leather wrapped. Coming to the steering wheel now, obviously XB premium trim, so leather wrap steering wheel, 3-spoke type steering wheel, little bit flat bottom, not actually full flat bottom like you have seen on the Suzuki car, but little bit flat. Nice stitching is done. I really like that. Satin type finishing here, Nissan badging here. The horn is placed there. Also SRS airbag written. Then this side here is for controlling the screen. So volume up and down are there. Then also mode switch is there. And then voice command is there. You can also mute it from here. So multifunction steering wheel. This side is for the cruise control. So you have to turn on the cruise control here, from here. And then you have to set it from here. So that's on the steering wheel. Also the steering wheel comes with tilt adjustability, as you can see. So nice adjustments are there in this car. So tilt adjustability is there. It takes little bit of effort to lock the knob there for the tilt adjustment. And coming to the controls again, no automatic headlight is there in this trim, but yeah, the headlight controls are really nicely placed and you can reach it from the steering wheel fairly easily. So indicator and all are there. There is the fog light switch here, and as you can see, the main headlight switch are here. Here comes the washer wiper controls. So it is also really very nicely put together, and the reach is really good. For the rear defogger, for the rear washer wiper, there is also integrated into the same lever, and you have to pull it for operating the front washer wiper. I cannot turn it on because right now I'm inside the showroom, so it will make everything messy. Now coming to the instrument cluster first. Here is the instrument cluster. First in segment, 7-inch TFT LCD instrument cluster were given in a compact SUV by Nissan to the Magnite. Now every sort of car gets that. You have also seen in the Punch, but the top spec Punch gets that. Also this is the XB Premium, so XB Premium version gets this. Let me just turn it off and then show you more in details like the animation and all. So if I turn on the car, a really nice animation is given. I really like that how it's integrated. A nice animation of the Magnite is shown, and that does some b-roll and all sort of thing. And then here is the tachometer, digital tachometer, speedometer is shown here. Lots of telltale lights to this side. It's not actually digital, these are actually LED elements. And here is the heat meter. To this right side there is the fuel meter. Really very nice it's designed really nicely, like large, so visibility is really very good. It's crisp, the TFT screen is crisp. Outside temperature is shown, obviously tachometer is there, low battery voltage is showing, and then again odometer is there. So to access it, you can access it from the string mounted controls here. So if I go through various menus and all, so trip A, trip B, then distance to empty, every sort of things are shown. Now if I press this button here, so fuel economy and all sort of things are showing. Then again if I press the button here, the average fuel economy is showing, also lots of other information like total kilometer per hour, like average, then average kilometer covered, then average driving time, those sorts of things are shown. So putting it here, then tire pressure monitor is also there in this car, which is really a very neat feature. Obviously pricing details and all I'll be giving in the screen, you can see that. Then dimming control, if I press it, okay, then I have to just scroll it the button here. So lots of adjustments are there, so that's really nice. The screen is really good, it's crisp, I can really it's really visible actually from the inside, like even on the out on the road. And I'll give you the drive impression, you will know, I'll tell how it feels out on the road. It's really nice and it looks nice actually, it's integrated very nicely. The Kiger also gets the same sort of treatment, but this screen now I'm feeling it's much better than the Kiger in terms of visibility and crispness and all. So that's there. So overall the dashboard finishing is really very nice. The way it's designed, I cannot say there are panel gaps and all, there are little bits of panel gaps here and there, uneven panel gaps, but to normal people that won't be really very visible and they don't even care it. I really like it. The switch gear feedbacks are really nice, the string mounted switchers are also nice, the stocks doesn't seem cheap, it's good considering the price of the car. Now coming to the screen here, the infotainment screen is fairly new. There is a satin type finishing running across the whole screen, and the way the screen is placed or slanted towards the driver, it's really nice. I really like the design because that's what it's needed. Obviously no volume control like knob is there, but string mounted control is there, which is okay, but volume knob should be there in the screen. It makes it much more easy to control it while driving, but it's not there. So this car, as you all have seen, there are 4 cameras around the exterior of the car, so a dedicated camera button is there, and if I press that, you can see the 360 view of the car. So the screen resolution, if I put it close, it's not that great considering the price segment of the car. Obviously the 8-inch screen is 8-inch touch screen, the screen resolution or the pixel density could have been increased, but it's okay, is decent considering the price of the car, and I would say it's fairly good because considering the price, it's much better than the screen that is given in the Honda City, the 5th gen. So there is the 360 camera view, lots of views are shown, and for putting the car into reverse, you have to put the knob here, and if I put into reverse, the reverse camera is also showing. Then this side the 360 view is shown, so you can actually drive the car in this way. Surround monitoring is given, which is actually, this is first in segment. When the Magnite was launched last year, it is first in segment feature is given, and there you can see the view from the left side of the camera, and obviously from the right side camera here you can see my hand actually, so you can see there my fingers or the hand. So that's there. I just want to show you in brief how it actually works. And obviously reverse camera is also there, and if I press the camera here, again the view actually changes. So the front view is given, so you can actually drive the car like this. Like the blind spot monitoring is really very good. No, the view doesn't show here in the instrument cluster here, but it actually works because the display is slanted towards the driver's side, so it works. Blind spot monitoring, you don't have to look out to the ORVM there for like looking to the other side of the car, it's from here. And also the rear wheel is actually showing, so really very nice feature. Now going to home, lots of other features are there, phone, media and all. I'll connect my phone to this system and give it a sound check and all. Let's see something more. So driving eco and all, the response is a little bit slow. As you can see, there are little bit of gimmicks are there. So the driving echo actually shows how you are driving the car, the gear shifts pattern and all, every sort of thing, the trip report and all, average fuel economy that you have reached, eco scoring, then eco coaching, like some sort of recommendation or guide is given, like how to brake and all. So that's there, the gear shift and all, every sort of thing. So that's it. And also radio, media, phone, smartphone integration. Its screen comes with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. No, this is not actually the wireless, but yeah, you have to connect it via the USB down under here. So Android Auto is there, so navigation you can see from after connecting the Android phone, and also crappy Apple CarPlay, whatever time is shown here. Also there is a dark mode here. If you touch that, the screen actually darkens and again or actually turns off. So yeah, that's it, that's the screen. So let me now connect my phone to the system and show you the sound details and all. And before going to connecting or giving the sound, there are lots of features here. So the sound you can actually control it from here. As you can see, navigation and all, radio and all, it's all there here. The lots of adjustability are there, phone ring, then obviously voice command and all feature. The mic is placed here, you can access the voice command from the button here, mute button is here. So lots of things are there in this screen, which is really nice. And again, display, night, day mode, auto mode is there, so it will adjust the brightness accordingly. So you can adjust the brightness from here. AC info on and on is there. Then around view monitor here you can see again. So let's close it. So again, setting, going to the setting and all. So devices you can connect it, Wi-Fi option is there, Bluetooth and all. Then system, clock, factory setting, system version, so updates and all are there. So really very nice display, which is good in this price segment. It will do its job. Fairly nice system, lots of features are there. Let's now connect my phone to this car and show you how the speakers in this car sounds. Now before showing you the sound check and all, I want to show few more settings that can be done for the sound here. So if you go to the settings and go to this balance and all, so here you can see you can actually set where you want to like sound coming out of the sound system here. And for your information, this trim, the XB Premium, gets 4 speakers on each door. There are also 2 speakers up above in the edges of the dashboard. So coming to the screen again, here you can see you can set the sound here like accordingly where you want to listen. So if you are driving like alone, then you can set the sound in the driver's seat area here, which will really a very neat feature that is given. Obviously lots of equalizer and all are there. Now so let's now play a music and show you how the music system actually sounds. And again, going to the media and all, let's play it. No volume control knob is not here, you have to control it from the screen here. Also there are volumetric controls in the steering here, so steering motor control is there, which is not bad. Just listen to the sound quality. So that's the sound or the music system, how it sounds in the Magnite. I think it's really very nice, I have to say that, because I've been in much expensive cars and those system doesn't sound that good, but it's really good like how the speakers are given. I think these are Harman speakers. You can also opt for JBL speakers, then the sound system will be much more awesome, because the cabin is really not that big, so the sound is good. So that's everything on the interior of the car, and it's really very good, not that bad. So let's now pop up the hood and show you the engine of this car. This variant actually comes with that natural aspirated engine. I will show that and I will give you then the drive impression of the turbo petrol variant. So coming to the engine bay of the car, here is the engine bay. Also hood, you can see insulation done there. Insulation is also done on the firewall, so the heat doesn't go there. I'll come to the engine in a bit. Reinforcing is done, obviously. you cannot see much of plastic, but obviously the engine manifold and all are made nowadays from plastic and all. There is the washer fluid filler here, 2 wipers I can see. So in that sort of thing, cost cutting is not done. No auto rain sensing wiper in Magnite, and obviously no auto headlight in this variant. So coming to the engine, this is the 1 liter 3-cylinder naturally aspirated petrol engine that makes 72 horsepower and 96 Newton meters of torque. Every single correct details will be given in the screen. Magnite is also offered with 1 liter turbo petrol engine that makes 100 horsepower, and obviously that is also 3-cylinder, so it makes 100 horsepower, 160 Newton meters of torque. And if you want to go for the Magnite, I will recommend you to buy the turbo petrol variant because that will offer more power. And if you love to drive cars, then obviously you will be needing a much powerful engine. And if you compare this engine to the Punch, then the Punch has much better powered engine because that makes around 86 horsepower and 130 Newton meters of torque. Obviously the same engine configuration is also shared with the Nissan Kiger, and Nissan Kiger, as I've already mentioned, was launched after the Magnite, so engine and platform are shared. So that's everything on the interior and exterior details of the Nissan Magnite. Now let's just go for the drive impression. So right now I am inside the Nissan Magnite XV Premium with the turbo variant, and I am going to drive this car and also give the drive impression as I have already said. But there are few changes compared to the naturally aspirated variant. Here in the turbo variant, the gear lever, you will see it's like the normal one you see in every other cars, but with the naturally aspirated variant, the gear lever, the working is different. The reverse gear is right behind the first gear, and you have to pull a knob here, but not in this. So new people will be comfortable driving this car much more than the naturally aspirated one, but it's always personal preference, and with practice it comes. And also when I start the car, the turbo variant engine or the turbo variant of the Magnite also comes with, obviously the digital instrument cluster and all is there, but there is one more thing, that is cruise control is obviously there. There is also hill start assist, traction control, and obviously all those sorts of safety features like ESP and all, and that can be activated and deactivated with the touch of a button, and the button is to the driver side here. So if I press it once, the traction control turns off, and again for safety reason obviously I will turn it on. So as you can see, it's there. So hill start assist and all, everything sort of things are there. So without making any delay or talking much about these things, let's just go for a drive. And before that, let me just put on the seat belt. I will tell you how the car or the turbo variant feels to drive. So handbrake down into first gear, and obviously let's go. So taking U-turns is pretty much easy in this car, and the car doesn't feel very big because to me it's like a large size hatchback, not a SUV per se, but yeah, it's a compact SUV. So talking about visibility, as the driver seat in this XV Premium variant gets height adjustability, the visibility is very good. I have a commanding view of the road. The outside rear view mirrors offer nice viewing angles. The inside rear view mirror also offer nice viewing angle. Obviously this is not the auto dimming type of inside rear view mirror. Manual dimming is there, but even though it works, it just works fine. The A-pillar around here are a bit thick, but blind spot will be there, but not for experienced drivers. And again, talking about the steering feel, obviously leather wrap type finishing is given, so it really feels nice to hold in my hands. And the steering, this car is the car that I am driving right now is a bit old. That means it is the car when it was launched like 1 year back. So at that time the Magnite steering didn't have good feedback, so this car doesn't feel really very connected to the steering wheel. But I have talked about this issue with the showroom sales executives, then they have told that now Nissan have corrected this thing with the Magnite, and now it doesn't have that like slow kind of feeling for the steering wheel. But in this car a little bit it's slow, so it doesn't feel that much connected. Now talking about NVH levels are really very nice in this car. Little bit of bumps or vibration can be felt around bumps and all, like around bad patches, but not that much. It's really very good because the panels and all inside are used of really very fairly nice quality. Not going over bad patches, because of the large 16-inch wheels you won't feel the bumps much, but yeah, vibrations can be felt along bad patches. I don't think the camera will or the sound you will get to know, but once you sit inside you will feel little bit of vibrations. So NVH levels are decent. I won't say like super awesome, but this is actually decent. And the engine, now talking about engine and all, the engine is a turbo petrol engine. Obviously you know 3-cylinder 1-liter turbo petrol engine makes 100 horsepower and 160 newton meters of torque, and the torque delivery is at lower rev range, so the torque curve is flat around the whole rev range, which is really nice, and it pulls really nicely. And if I try to push the car, it really pulls so easily in the third gear itself. And the brakes are also very progressive. Obviously ABS EBD is there, ESP, traction control, all sorts of safety features are there in this car. And like you see, the steering needs little bit of time to change direction of the car. Experienced drivers won't have any much issue with this, but yeah, I can say that because I like drive many cars, and for that, so honestly I'm saying. But as I've already told you, Nissan has fixed that issue with the steering of the Magnite, and the engine can really pull in the second gear like below 1000 rpm. So city driving won't be an issue in this car with the turbo petrol engine. And if you are going for the Nissan Magnite, then for a few bucks don't just compromise the performance, go for the turbo petrol engine. It's a really very nice engine, and you will love driving this one more than the naturally aspirated engine. The naturally aspirated engine makes around 72 horsepower, as you already know, which you will feel really underpowered when you will put 4 people inside the car. And now let's try to push it. So warning comes up in around 80 km per hour. So the engine really feels very nice. The braking is also very good, and due to electronic stability and all, the vehicle doesn't sway when you apply hard braking. So safety, in terms of safety, it's really very good. Body roll cannot be felt very much because the car is not that tall. Even though the ground clearance is above 200 mm, the body roll cannot be felt much. Talking about city driving and all, now I cannot take it to the city and all, but I have to say the car really feels very compact. The rear view mirrors also offer nice viewing angle. The rear section quarter can also be visible here, so city driving will also be good. The clutch is a little bit on the heavier side, and gear shifts, there is little bit of rubbery feeling to the gear shifts. It's not that slick like the Kiger. Also it's little bit similar, but overall the experience is really very decent. And obviously cost cutting is done in this car, so those things are compromisable. Talking about the pricing and all, this engine is really very lovely. It pulls so nicely. Obviously there is little bit of vibration, as I've already told you. And if you want to see the Kiger review video, then it's in the pop-up button somewhere up there. You can see, and you can see how the drive experience of the car that I have given in that video also of the Kiger actually. So there will be a little bit of comparison you can feel. The suspensions in the Kiger I feel was tuned much better than the Magnite, but even though both the car share similar kind of like underpinnings are same, so you won't feel much of a difference when you drive both the cars or take a test drive. And obviously, according to me, I like the look of the Magnite much more than the Kiger, because for me the Kiger from the front it looks like a jacked up Renault Kwid, the small hatchback, and but this car, the Magnite, looks a bit like a SUV from the front, and it looks much sleek and smarter, and also from the rear it's good. So looks are always subjective, don't please judge me for that. According to me, I love the Magnite looks much more, but I like the interior of the Kiger better than the Magnite. I like the way there is armrest for the driver and all, which can be accessed. It is a really very big size armrest, and it also have storage spaces there, but this Magnite doesn't get armrest that can be used as a storage space. So little bit of here and there differences are there. So if I try to overtake it from here, I can easily do that because the car is really compact. So I really enjoy driving the Magnite. There is a little bit of issue with the steering wheel, but if that is solved, then everything else is, like, I have to say, good. So that was my drive impression of the Nissan Magnite turbo variant with the obviously 1 liter turbo petrol engine. If you watched the video till now, make sure you like the video. Also subscribe to my channel and press that bell notification icon so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel. So that's it for today. Bye.